Welcome to The Explainer. It's absolutely incredible how artists use recurring motifs and distinct visual languages to tell some of the most profound human stories imaginable. Today, we're going to look closely at a curated collection of images that chart a deeply emotional path. We'll be moving from the quiet beauty of a peaceful past, through the sudden devastation of loss, all the way to the enduring roots of resilience. By focusing on the specific choices these artists have made on the canvas, we can unpack exactly how complex histories and deeply felt realities are communicated without saying a single word.
So think about this massive challenge facing any artist. How exactly do you capture both profound loss and unbreakable hope? How do you depict the absolute lowest moments of the human experience right alongside the very things that give us the strength to keep going? Keep this question in the back of your mind as we go along today. Pay close attention to how color, line, and recurring symbols are utilized to navigate this extreme emotional spectrum.
Section 1. Echoes of a Peaceful Past. Life Before Conflict.
Notice the calm, deliberate pacing of this vintage landscape. We've got an open, rolling field, gently meeting the sea, dotted with lush, mature olive trees and a traditional domed building resting quietly right in the center. The figures in the foreground are relaxed, integrated perfectly into their environment. The artist is using these soft, natural colors, muted greens, earthy browns, and a tranquil blue sky to establish a profound sense of normalcy and harmony. This isn't just a pretty landscape, it's the visual foundation of a community at peace, deeply rooted in its environment.
Now, what's truly captivating about this piece is how it invites us right into a warm, golden scene full of sensory details. We're moving from that wide landscape into a very intimate, daily ritual. The rich yellows, oranges, and earthy tones almost let you feel the radiating warmth of that traditional taboon oven. You can practically smell the freshly baked flatbreads resting on the woven tray. We see a woman in traditional dress focused on her craft, while children look on nearby, one holding a piece of bread close. It's an image that speaks directly to nourishment, and not just of the body, but of the soul and the family unit.
These specific visual touchstones construct a really vivid picture of a thriving, self-sustaining community. We don't just see people here, we're seeing their culture in action. The taboon oven represents generational knowledge and gathering. The traditional dress points to a distinct, preserved cultural identity. The communal setting with children present shows how this way of life is passed down. And the bread itself? Well, it's the ultimate universal symbol of life and sustenance. By meticulously detailing these elements, the artwork establishes a profound sense of heritage that grounds us before the narrative takes a dark turn.
Section 2. The Anguish of Displacement. A sudden visual shift.
This sharp contrast we're about to see directly mirrors the very real shock of displacement, completely upending the peaceful scenes we just witnessed. Where we previously saw golden hues, soft edges, and open skies, we are now going to encounter a visual environment that is cramped, colorless, and shattered. The artists are deliberately ripping away that comforting palette to ensure we feel the jarring, disorienting reality of losing one's home. The art literally forces us to confront the sudden absence of the piece we were just exploring.
Just look at how the artist here uses jagged lines, gray tones, and the sheer physical weight of the bundles to communicate an overwhelming sense of sorrow and burden. Look closely at her face, the closed eyes, the tears, the expression of pure exhaustion and grief. She's wearing a traditional patterned scarf, which is a visual link back to the heritage we saw earlier, but now she's surrounded by the sharp, chaotic angles of ruined buildings. Notice the incredible physical load she carries. Bags upon bags, piled impossibly high on her back, along with a small child clinging to her. It is a striking visual metaphor for carrying the fragmented pieces of an entire life on your shoulders through the rubble of what used to be.
So the crucial point here is this powerful juxtaposition between items of sustenance and burdens of survival. Think back to the woman at the oven. The things she handled, the dough, the bread, those were tools of life. They were meant to be shared and enjoyed. They represented a community thriving. Now look at the burdens of survival. The bags are heavy, awkward, and represent sheer desperation. The weight has fundamentally changed from something that nourishes to something that crushes. This is exactly how the artists use the concept of burden to visually narrate the tragic shift from heritage to displacement.
Section 3. Symbols of Enduring Hope. Focusing on rebirth. This brilliantly illustrates how resilience can be represented in two entirely different ways, both centered around one single powerful motif, the olive tree. In one representation, we see a striking, surreal image where the tree is born directly from the ruins of war. In the other, we see a gentle, warm illustration where the tree is nurtured through intergenerational love.
Despite the stark difference in style and tone, one gritty and defiant, the other soft and peaceful, both use the exact same symbol to say the exact same thing. We endure.
The olive tree acts as the ultimate visual bookend for this entire collection. It symbolizes a deeply rooted strength that outlasts the surrounding destruction. You know, in art, an olive tree isn't just a plant, it's a testament to time. They take years to bear fruit, and they can live for centuries. Therefore, when an artist places an olive tree in a scene of devastation, they are making a profound statement about longevity. They're telling us that the roots of the culture and the people go far deeper than the surface-level destruction, and that new growth is not just possible, but inevitable.
Take a really close look at the bold visual language here. Notice how the sunbeams are literally breaking through the dark, oppressive smoke to illuminate a sapling that is shattering the remnants of war. The artist places discarded violent objects, rifles and a military helmet, on a dry, cracked earth surrounded by the haze of conflict. But right in the center, bursting through the cracked metal of the helmet, is a perfectly healthy green olive tree already bearing fruit. It's a surreal, almost impossible image, which is exactly the point. It visualizes hope as an unstoppable, defiant force of nature that reclaims life from the very instruments of destruction. Conversely, this gentle piece conveys hope not as an act of defiance, but as a quiet, enduring inheritance, passed from generation to generation. The harsh, jagged lines of the displacement era are completely gone here. We're back to the soft curves and warm, natural colors of the beginning, but with a renewed focus on the future. The grandmother, wearing her traditional headscarf, rests a gentle hand near the young girl. They are sitting on a solid rock beneath the massive, sheltering canopy of an old olive tree. This image tells us that true resilience isn't just about surviving trauma. It's about making sure the next generation can still smile, still connect with their elders, and still sit in the shade of their heritage. As we wrap up this explainer, take a moment to reflect on the sheer power of these visual stories and how art preserves human endurance in the face of the unthinkable. We've seen how artists can take us from the warmth of a village oven through the agonizing weight of displacement and finally to the defiant growth of an olive sapling. This proves that art is much more than just decoration. It's a vital record of the human spirit. I want to leave you with this thought. When words fail to capture the magnitude of loss or the depth of our hope, we turn to these visual motifs to speak for us. Look around your own life and community. What symbols of heritage do you hold dear, and what visual stories of resilience are taking root in the world around you? Thank you so much for exploring this with me today. Keep looking closely,